morning, everybody. Well, I think I've done a full year's worth of work this morning. But it's not really work when you're having fun. So it's a full year's worth of play. Well, this morning, because it's Plan and Play Day, and Leanne and Patty and I have been planning today. Yes, y'all, your comments on the conference this past weekend, I mean, they have just blown us away. And many of you said, and I may run a survey, to say that, you know, how often do you want us to do one of these conferences or workshops or blessing shops or whatever we're going to call it? We don't know yet. But many of you said you want us to have them more often than once a year, because this was our first one. And so we started thinking about the different things that we could do. Now, we give this to you every single day. We give it to you every single day for free. We do. Leanne has a show at 1 o'clock. I have a show at 11 o'clock. And then we do tea time together at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So you've got us every single day. But some of you just need a little bit more. Just a little bit more. And so we were posing the question, and Leanne's good at this. What if we did one every month? So we looked at what we would do every month. And then Patty said, you know, the ladies would get bored with every month. So I think she could have something there. But we started thinking about what we would do every month. We need a back to basics. Just a back to basics. Get ready for school starting. Whether you're homeschooling or whether the kids' schools are going to actually start. You know, they've been out of school now for almost 6 months, some of them. And by the time summer's over with, it will be 6 months. So, yeah, Leanne, she did a cooking show at 4 o'clock every afternoon Eastern time during the pandemic. But, you know, you can only do so many cooking shows, and she was a little burnt out, and she needed to take a break from it. And we want to make sure we can keep this fun for everybody, especially for us, because if it's not fun, we're not going to want to do it. Somebody's coming up my driveway. So today is Plan and Play Day. You got it? Plan and Play Day. And any planning you can do right now, is going to free you up next week. So I'm planning for the 4th of July right now. I have placed an order for some shrimps to come in. I went by the little produce stand yesterday to look for some corn on the cob. Can't have 4th of July without corn on the cob. And they weren't open, so I've got to check again today. So you see, planning and playing is a big deal. Because if we can get things done up ahead of time, that leaves you free to play on Saturday. Yep, we're still in a pandemic, yep. But your kids, you cannot, and I'm going to get mad here. I'm going to get mad because our children cannot lose their education. Our children need to be educated. And if you have to do it at home, you got to get your act together so you can do it. Whether it's staying at home and training them, putting them in a private school, on online classes, you got to figure it out. You got to figure it out because we can't let our children fall by the wayside because of this stupid virus. Have you got it? Our children need to be educated, and we can't depend on public education to do it sometimes because they've let us down. Let's be honest. They have let us down. So we have got to put our children first. That means getting our houses in order so that we can teach our children when the time comes. Some people who homeschool don't homeschool the month of July. They take the whole month of July off. kids are needing each other. I mean, my granddaughter just got back from camp, and she didn't have camp with 200 kids. She had camp with the 8 kids that were in her cabin. She can do that at home. And she was sad she didn't get to see her brother much. And he's a counselor at the camp. So it's time. We've got to take care of our babies. We've got to take care of our babies. It's time to get them educated and figure out what you're going to do. If you need to become a homeschooling parent, then sign up and get it done the right way. And Tammy and our homeschooling stuff, it's a great way. Tammy has homeschooled 6 children. 6 children. We don't know what's going to happen in this state this fall. We don't have a clue. But your children need to be educated, whether you do it or not. And there's some great unit studies stuff out there that will help with education, teaching them history, teaching them the 3 R's, reading, writing, and arithmetic, and let's throw in a little history so they understand where our country came from and how our country evolved. And we have evolved as a people. We have evolved. But we got to get our houses in order, and we're going to do it this summer. We're going to do it this summer. Now, we have to be safe. We have a decree from our governor that we have to wear our mask in public. We have to wear our mask in public. And we wore our mask to dinner last night. We wore our mask to dinner last night. And we take them off when we get there, and then we put them back on when we leave. That's what we got to do. So it's somebody saying we need more money for education. I think that's a line of schools don't have the money to open safely. Well, they have the money. They just don't want to use it for that. I know, because I used to provide the budgets for schools. Yeah. Our school system has a $6 million budget, but they pay too many administrators high dollar salaries to do what's right for the kids. So don't get me started on that. You do not want to get me started on that. And I don't know who's throwing up all the ugly faces, but you can go away. You can go away. You either like it or you don't. But if you're going to throw an ugly face about what I'm saying, you can leave. Because this is my platform. And I get to say whatever I want. And I have always been about the babies. Every single baby in this world. From womb to tomb. And you're all babies. Womb to tomb, I've been about the babies. And this is important. This is important stuff. Yeah, this is big time stuff. So I don't know what's with angry faces, but those people, I'm not angry. I am stating facts right here. Because we are losing our country to a bunch of anarchists that are running wild in the streets, taking over our cities. I just dare them to come down my driveway. They won't like it. They will not like it. So, I like living on top of a mountain. I like that Leanne lives on top of a mountain. And nobody's coming to our house. Nope. Those people that in St. Louis, want to rename our cities? This is crazy. This is crazy. This is just crazy. So folks, we got to take back our country. We have to stand up for what we believe in. And I believe in protecting the children. And if you have to educate them at home to give them a proper education instead of one that is from the Marxists and the communists of the world, that they want to change our country, we do not want to be a communist country. We do not want that. I tell you what, if you want to watch Justin has been telling me about this, The Man in the High Castle. I think it's on Netflix or something. But The Man in the High Castle, it'll show you what it's like to live in if we had lost World War II, what this country would be like. You don't want to go there. You do not want to go there. I rarely watch the news too. I do have it on occasionally. I mainly watch business news, but I see what's happening to our inner city businesses. I mean, I'm blessed. I have an internet business. I really don't have a brick and mortar business that people come into. We have a distribution. Do you know why I have a distribution center? Do you know why I set up a distribution center? Because nobody would do it like my people would do it. Nobody would take care of my babies like I would do it. Nobody would take care of my baby. That's why we set up a distribution center. Because I couldn't hire somebody to ship the things out to you and say a prayer over them as they went out the door. And wow. I couldn't hire somebody to do that. And guess what? Leanne and Mark have started doing the same thing. They're filling all their own orders. Isn't that wonderful? And we have got to figure out a way to live on one income if we have to. Go check out Dave Ramsey in Nashville. He's an amazing way to help you get your finances in order. And if we have to stay home and train our children, that's what my family's done. Emily has homeschooled my grandchildren. And they are well-rounded, well-educated kids. Yeah, they're great. They are great, even if they are my grandchildren. But I've been around a lot of homeschooled children. A lot of them. And they're well-mannered. You know one immediately when they walk up to you. They're yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am. Somebody's asking if I'm a born-again Christian. I don't know how you don't know that. I don't know how you don't know that. You know, I got Bible verses on my walls. I don't sit around and just fake it. So, folks, we have got to get our acts together so we can educate our children. That's the important thing. If you believe, now I'm gonna probably get banned for this. I don't care. If you believe that Black Lives Matter, the black people have to believe it too. And they have to quit aborting their little babies. They have to. Because those babies' lives matter too. And guess where those clinics are? They're in minority neighborhoods. Isn't that sad? That corporation is preying on those babies. Preying on those babies. So a little planning today. We've got to be ready for this fall, y'all. We can't just go through everyday motion expecting that you're going to be homeschooling this fall. We might all be homeschooling this fall. Because who knows what's going to happen? We could have round 2. I think we're having round 2 now of this stupid virus. So it's important for us to get our homes in order. Because if our children can get educated, which, not going to public school might not be a bad idea. Having them home and you knowing what's getting put in their heads, that's important, because you don't have a camera in the classroom of those children. You don't know what those teachers are putting into their heads. Because we have a full generation now that are running wild in the streets because they haven't been taught any manners. I don't mind a good protest. We had some great protests in the 60s. I lived through it. I was 12 years old in 1968. I remember, but I also remember the rioting and the looting that happened in Memphis. I remember it. So we got to get our houses in order. The governors have to get their houses in order. The mayors have to get their houses in order and quit giving in to people stomping their feet. There are people dying in Seattle. Do we want everything to turn back to the wild, wild west? We got to stop this. We have to stop it. Okay. Breathe. It's plan and play day. Plan what you're having for your 4th of July celebration. And yes, it is a celebration. I'm going to reread the book, Killing England, because it was about the American Revolution. It was written by Bill O'Reilly. I'm going to reread that this week, because it's always good to reinforce our history and know what happened. The King of England decided he was just going to tax us upstarts in the New World. He was just going to tax us. And he started putting a huge amount of tax on tea. Remember the Boston Tea Party? What's happened to our churches in the last 3 months? We're having to go worship online. We can't be around brethren. But guess what? They can march in the streets. They can loot in the streets. They can riot in the streets. And we're going to have... This past weekend, we had a protest march in support of law enforcement officers in Waynesville, North Carolina. They marched down the street with their mask on. They were social distancing in support of police officers and sheriffs and first responders and all the people. This isn't a tangent. This is important. This is important because if we're going to have to teach our kids, we need to start today. Get your dining room set up so that you can homeschool. Let's take care of things so we can educate our children. Think about when Little House on the Prairie. I mean, we all grew up with that show. We read the books. Little House on the Prairie. Before they had a school, Mrs. Ingalls taught her daughters. They taught them how to read. They taught them how to do math. They taught it all. There's some great free resources online. Yeah, Khan Academy is one of those main resources. For history stuff, you can go to Liberty University, and there's a lot of free stuff there. PragerU has a lot of free stuff about history. You can learn these things. If you don't know your history, guess what? You're going to lose a country. You're going to lose a country. And we're going to be ruled by anarchists and people who don't believe in the rule of law. We have to take our country back. And there are Democrats and Republicans that agree on this. They're not polar opposites. I mean, I used to have a great congressman from this area that I really liked, and I voted for against a Republican. Yeah, I did. But I sat by him in an airport, waiting on a plane, and he was a fiscally conservative, and I liked him. Now, he voted with Nancy, but I still liked him. He's not our congressman anymore. We're going to have an amazing congressman this time. Yep. Madison Cawthorn. So think about educating your children, giving them reading history. Children need to read books in the summertime. They need to read all the time. And kids need books. If you don't have any books in your house, you got a problem. You got a problem. I was looking at a question this morning on Twitter. Do we need a holiday for fallen officers? Fallen police officers? Nobody talks about the ones that have died during this whole process. Officers are being shot in the head for no reason by these idiots. They are being killed. They go to work to try to provide peace in their community, and they're being killed. So we got to get our houses in order so that we can educate our babies this fall. We have to do this. We have to do it. I mean, there's so many people out. I feel like if we had sports and something to occupy people's minds, we'd feel better. I'm ready for baseball, and I'm not a big baseball fan, but I keep up with my St. Louis Cardinals. And no, you're not going to rename my St. Louis Cardinals. You're not going to do that. Two officers shot this week in Oklahoma. I just can't. I can't. And you're not seeing it in the news. You're not seeing it in the news. I am thankful that I live in a rural county in North Carolina, in western North Carolina. It is up to we mothers, and Leanne's got that right. The hand that rocks the cradle is the hand that rules the world. And we mothers have to stand up and tell these people that they've lost their minds. Yeah, we have to have this revolution. This revolution is bringing our country back to civility. And I can't even go there. My niece wanted to go to Chicago, and I begged her not to. I begged her not to. Said, please don't go to Chicago. So she went to Seattle. Now, Seattle's a beautiful city, but don't go to those 6 blocks that they have taken over. Maybe it's 3 now. I don't care. But they need to take back those 6 blocks and get the people that live in that area. There have been rapes and murders, and they won't let the police officers and the emergency the paramedics in to take care of folks. 6 people have died, I think. I don't want to be president. I got enough to do with all of y'all. The burden is hard because everybody's against whoever's in office. It doesn't matter. If it was Obama, everybody was against. Half of them were against him. We survived. We survived it. Barely. We barely survived. So folks, we have to get our houses in order so that we can take care of our families. And get your children reading today. Reading history books. Just go to the history section and pull out a book about the American Revolution that's made for kids. That's a fun thing to do. And y'all won't believe this, but Rush Limbaugh has a whole children's series called Rush Revere. And it's told from a horse's point of view. And it's just the cutest little series. Go check out Rush Limbaugh's website and find the children's series. I bet they're in your library too. Well, Brooklyn, she kind of likes to help people. That's her thing. She has a degree in theology, and she just wants to go where she can help people. That's her thing. And I have given her to God until I say, please don't go to Chicago. A talking horse named Liberty. Yeah, they're fun. But you can order books from libraries. Libraries are still open. They will put the books in a bag, and they have card catalogs. You can get libraries books. You can get library books. Well, y'all, have a good rest of the day. I love you all. And just know a little planning today is going to prepare us for what's next. And we have to be prepared for what's next, because at this point in time, we don't know what's next. We don't have a clue as to what's next, because the world is upside down because of this virus. And people are taking advantage of the fact that this virus is around. Yeah, they're taking advantage of it. They're hitting us when we're down. They're piling on. We have to take control of our homes so that we have a good place to be sheltered and to educate our children. Yeah. And I know a lot of you don't believe in having encyclopedias in your home. But a big part of my education came from opening up an encyclopedia. Yeah, it really did. Not opening up a laptop. It came from opening up an encyclopedia. And Patty and I did this. We were little kids and we could barely read. But we would open up an encyclopedia because we had the World Book encyclopedias, and you can buy them cheap. Did you know? You can buy them cheap. And you just open up a book and start reading about something. And we educated ourselves. We had a daddy that bought us those books, but we educated ourselves. We opened up the book and read, and we talked about it. Our babies need us. Our grandchildren need us. We can educate ourselves. Because I didn't learn anything about World War I, World War II, the Korean conflict, or Vietnam. And Vietnam was going on when I was in school, but I didn't learn any of that in high school. I have had to do it myself by reading books. Reading books. World Books pre-1960 is the best. That's probably the ones I had. You can go on eBay right now and find World Book encyclopedias, and they'll deliver them to your house. So everybody, get your menus planned for this week and the next week, and let's make July. Tomorrow is the first day of July. The first day of July. With the first day of July, That's our swish and swipe habit. Swishing and swiping. Yeah. I think I'll play the swish and swipe song to close this out. That's our habit for next month. We're going to be practicing swish and swipe. The best deal in our fly shop at this moment is our Back to Basics package. It has the rubber swisher and the wand in it. It's really the best. It's $49.95. You get just the basics of what you need. Go check it out. And let's get those minis playing. And let's have a great 4th of July. We're not having fireworks here. We're not having fireworks. I wish somebody would just do the fireworks and not tell anybody when it was going to happen. But just do the fireworks. But we're not having fireworks. But we're going to have a party at our house. It'll only be a party for 4 people and a dog. But yay. And everybody should read their Bibles every day. And you start with Proverbs. Start on July 1st, read chapter 1 in Proverbs. Let's do that for the whole month of July. Chapter 2, if it's the second day, we're going to do Proverbs. And there are apps out there, Bible Gateway, other places that'll read it for you. It takes 3 minutes to read a whole chapter. 3 minutes. Have you got 3 minutes? This is stuff we need to learn. This is stuff that saved people's lives. Ask the retired Rear Admiral Black, who is the chaplain for the U.S. Senate. His mother taught him to do this. Read a chapter every month. Now, we've still got every week, read a chapter every day in July. Read a chapter and start at the beginning of every month. Read it to your kids. It is an instruction manual for your life. That's what Proverbs is all about. It's an instruction manual. So, folks, let's get some stuff done today. Get your bathrooms good and clean, because we're going to keep them clean for the whole month of July. This habit is going to stick like you wouldn't believe. And I'm going to play... my thing already shut off. I got on my soapbox. I love you all. Thanks for letting me get on my soapbox. We're swishing and swiping.
1, 2, 3, 4. Swish and swipe. I'm swishing, I'm swiping, but you won't hear me griping, 'cause I'm blessing my house today. I really dig it, I get it. It only takes a minute to keep my house looking this way. And you should see me move when I'm getting in the groove with a can-do attitude. I fly so high when I'm swishing and swiping to you.
That's our habit for July.
Blessing my house today. That's right. I've made it a habit. There's nothing hard about it. Just 15 minutes a day. I'm cleaning and flinging. I do my quick routines, and I'll soon be able to play. And you should see me smile when I'm sprucing up this title. Only takes a little while and I'm done. And it's fun when I'm swishing and swiping. No, you won't hear me griping, 'cause I'm blessing my house today. Here we go now. Swish and round and round I swirl, just to once around this tub, and things are looking up, and I fly so high celebration and swapping. No, you won't hear me grabbing, 'cause I'm blessing my house today. That's right, I'm blessing my house today.
Y'all have a good day. I'll see you at 3. Talk to you later.